Good morning. At this point, I will ask you to please rise and face the south for the raising of the colors by the Fullerton College Veterans Club, followed by the Star-Spangled Banner by Gregory Fletcher, Fullerton College student.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now Maria Duque, President, Fullerton College Associated Students, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
In this day of remembrance, please join me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to Fullerton College. As we remember the innocent American heroes who were victims of the uncalled for September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks in New York, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. By destroying the World Trade Center and part of the Pentagon, symbols of American freedom and democracy, and by killing so many innocent lives, the terrorists thought they could subdue the will of this nation. They have dealt a severe blow to our very way of life and our freedom, the very fiber of our society. However, the United States of America is resilient. It is a nation where we value freedom in all its shapes and forms. Terrorists can shake the foundation of our buildings, but to quote President George W. Bush, they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. The United States of America will never give up the principles that we Americans firmly believe in: liberty, justice, freedom, and equality for all. The victims of September 11 will be forever remembered. Their untimely death, their courage and heroism will give us the strength and courage to continue the work of the United States of America in the world. Fullerton College will remember the victims forever. You will be in our hearts forever and ever. Thank you. And now, Dr. Tony Dubois, Vice President of Fullerton College, always in our memory.
Early on the morning of September 11th, 2001, 19 hijackers took control of 4 commercial airlines en route to San Francisco and Los Angeles from Boston, Newark, and Washington, D.C. Planes with long flights were intentionally selected for hijacking because they would be heavily fueled. At 8:46 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the World Trade Center's North Tower, followed by United Airlines Flight 175, which hit the South Tower at 9:03 a.m. Another group of hijackers flew American Airlines Flight 77 into the Pentagon at 9:37 a.m. A fourth flight, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed near Shanksville, Pennsylvania at 10:03 a.m. local time after the passengers on board engaged in a fight with the hijackers. Its ultimate target is believed to have been either the Capitol or the White House. Flight 93's cockpit voice recorder revealed that crew and passengers attempted to seize control of the plane from the hijackers after learning through phone calls that similarly hijacked planes had been crashed into buildings that morning. One of the hijackers gave the order to roll the plane once it became evident that they would lose control of the plane to the passengers. Soon afterward, the aircraft crashed into a field near Shanksville. 3 buildings in the World Trade Center complex collapsed due to structural failure. The South Tower fell at approximately 9:59 a.m. after burning for 56 minutes in a fire caused by the impact of United Airlines Flight 175. The North Tower collapsed at 10:28 a.m. after burning for approximately 102 minutes. When the North Tower collapsed, debris fell on the nearby 7 World Trade Center building, damaging it and starting fires. These fires burned for hours and compromised the building's structural integrity, which led to the crumbling of the East Penthouse at 5:20 p.m. and complete collapse at 5:21 p.m. For the first time in history, all aircraft within the continental United States were grounded, and aircraft already in flight were told to land immediately. All international civilian aircraft were either turned back or redirected to airports in Canada or Mexico. And all international flights were banned from landing on U.S. soil for 3 days. The attacks created widespread bewilderment among news organizations and air traffic controllers across the United States. There were a total of 2,996 deaths caused by the 9/11 attacks, including the 19 hijackers and 2,977 victims. No one in the airplane survived, ending 246 lives. 2,606 people died in the Twin Towers in New York City, and 65 civilians and 55 military personnel were killed in the attack on the Pentagon. The New York City Fire Department quickly deployed 200 units to the site, and their efforts were supplemented by numerous off-duty firefighters and EMTs. The New York City Police Department sent emergency service units and other police personnel and deployed its aviation unit. Within hours of the attack, a substantial search and rescue operation was launched, and after months of around-the-clock operations, the World Trade Center was cleared at the end of May 2002. Suspicion quickly fell on Al-Qaeda. Its leader, Osama bin Laden, initially denied involvement, but in 2004 finally claimed responsibility for the attacks. In 1998, 3 years before the 9/11 attacks, bin Laden declared of a holy war against the United States, calling for the killing of American civilians. In various pronouncements before and after the attacks, Al-Qaeda explicitly cited 3 motives: the presence of U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia, U.S. support for Israel, and sanctions against Iraq. After the attacks, bin Laden and his comrades released a number of videotapes repeating those same motives. The 9/11 attacks had immediate and overwhelming effects upon the American people. Police and rescue workers from around the country took leaves of absence, traveling to New York City to help recover bodies from the twisted remnants of the Twin Towers. Blood donations across the U.S. surged in the weeks after 9/11. Over 3,000 children lost a parent. For the first time in history, SCATANA was invoked, establishing an ATC 0 condition, clearing all airspace immediately. The United States responded to the attacks by launching the War on Terror, invading Afghanistan on October 7th, 2001, with the purpose of deposing the Taliban. The War on Terror has been going on for 9 years and 341 days. Nearly 6,000 U.S. military personnel have lost their lives in this war, and more than 42,000 have been injured. We remember the 2,977 victims of 9/11-2001 and the 5,921 men and women of the U.S. military who gave their lives for our freedom. May we always hold them in our memory.
The poem selected for this morning's ceremony was written by U.S. poet Billy Collins in memory of the victims and survivors of 9/11. It is entitled, "The Names." Yesterday, I lay awake in the palm of the night. A soft rain stole in, unhelped by any breeze. And when I saw the silver glaze on the windows, I started with A, with Ackerman, as it happened, and then Baxter and Calabro, Davis and Eberling, names falling into place as droplets fell through the dark. Names printed on the ceiling of the night, names slipping around a watery bend, 26 willows on the banks of a stream. In the morning, I walked out barefoot among thousands of flowers, heavy with dew like the eyes of tears, and each had a name. Fiore inscribed on a yellow petal, then Gonzalez and Hahn, Ishikawa and Jenkins, names written in the air and stitched into the cloth of the day. A name under a photograph taped to a mailbox. Monogram on a torn shirt. I see you spelled out on storefront windows and on the bright unfurled awnings of the city. I say the syllables as I turn a corner. Kelly and Lee, Medina, Nardella, and O'Connor. When I peer into the woods, I see a thick tangle where letters are hidden, as in a puzzle concocted for children. Parker and Quigley in the twigs of an ash, Rizzo, Schubert, Smith, Torres, and Upton. Secrets in the boughs of an ancient maple. Names written in the pale sky. Names rising in the updraft amid buildings. Names silent in stone or cried out behind a door. Names blown over the earth and out to sea. In the evening, weakening light, the last swallows. A boy on a lake lifts his oars. A woman by a window puts a match to a candle. And the names are outlined on the rose clouds, Vanacore and Wallace. Let X stand, if it can, for those not found. Then Young and Zeminski, the final jolt of Z. Names etched on the head of a pin, one name spanning a bridge, another undergoing a tunnel. A blue name needled into the skin. Names of citizens, workers, mothers and fathers, the bright-eyed daughter, the quick son. Alphabet of names in a green field. Names in the small tracks of birds. Names lifted from a hat or balanced on the tip of the tongue. Names wheeled into the dim warehouse of memory. So many names. There is barely room on the walls of the heart.
And now, Fullerton College student Miles Davis. We thank you very much today for attending this remembrance ceremony. I'd like to recognize a few members of the staff who have worked diligently to make this happen. Vice President Tony Dubois was instrumental in getting everybody together to put this presentation. Maintenance and operations, and the staff of the Public Information Office. I would also recognize some of our guests today. Chancellor Ned Doffany of the North Orange County Community College District, Ms. Kai Stearns-Moore, District Director of Public Information, Ms. Chris Terry, Provost, School of Continuing Education. From the community, we have Mr. Bruce Whitaker, Fullerton City Council member, and also representing Assemblyman Chris Norby, Ms. Rosie Espinosa, La Habra City Council, and Mr. Chuck Allen, Executive Director, Fullerton College Foundation. We thank you again for being here today and to help us remember this time. Thank you.
Yes. It would have been appropriate.